Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode here of the Ref Bump. Alongside Jeff the Hitman Hall, my name is, of course, Codd Sinclair. Today we are looking at WWE Bad Blood 2003. This is from June 15th from Houston, Texas. That is now on the WWE Return Tour coming this summer. 2003, this early post-invasion era of WWE is really weird. This was right when they were getting the F out, as they were just in a lawsuit with the World Wildlife Foundation. So for a hot second there, they were WWFE. At this point, though, they are fully on WWE. There was a lot that I forgot about this show. This is also right in the heat of the Reign of Terror, commonly referred to as Triple H's dominance over Raw during the early to mid 2000s on Raw. Other than that, what do you remember about this time in professional wrestling, Jeff?
So there was a lot of, like you said, matches / personnel on this show that I just had not too many, but I had no idea, just none at all. But I agree with you. I think this is where wrestling lost a lot of people. Not always, not like a ton necessarily, but I think maybe the older crowd started thinking that maybe WWF was starting to lose their fastball a little bit, or at least have to turn into a changeup. I watched this show. I'm probably, full disclosure, not a fan of it, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, like you said, it was really weird, and you've hit the nail on the head. It's just weird. It's an interesting time because you have guys doing things that they being completely different than who they were portraying a year ago, 2 years ago. And it's just, which that's wrestling, but I don't know, weird and interesting to say the least.
Yeah, this, because we have to think about the landscape of professional wrestling here. WCW just went out of business. We just did the whole invasion angle. And now we are into this weird period of time where the only predominant American wrestling promotion is World Wrestling Entertainment, because we're not getting full-on Ring of Honor here for a little bit, full NWA TNA for a little bit. So this was it. You wanted to watch professional wrestling in America, this was it.
This is kind of, tell me what you think, Codd. It's not that they necessarily jumped the shark here, because they've done that 1,000 times by now, but it was kind of, like they say, a dog chasing a car. Well, they finally caught it by, with WCW going out of business and all that. And you can kind of tell that they don't really know what to do a little bit.
Yeah. This was kind of, in my eyes, after watching this, throwing things at the wall to see what would stick.
Mm-hmm.
But enough talk. Let's get right into the show. JR and King on commentary. Opening matchup, we do get, notes went away here for just a quick second. Get a regular old standard tag team match. That would be between the Dudley Boys, Bubba Ray and Devon, taking on the team of Christopher Nowinski and Rodney Mack. They're being accompanied by good old Teddy Long. I'll let you start off, Jeff. What did you think about this one?
Okay, I'm going to start off with what I said earlier. I have no idea who Rodney Mack is. Man, audience, I've been doing this for a long time. And, I'll admit, when I don't know something, I don't know something. I don't remember someone, I don't remember something. I have no idea who Rodney Mack is. I don't remember this guy. He could have walked up to me tomorrow and gave me an autograph, and I'd be like, who in the hell are you? I have no idea who this guy was. All right, so back to the match. Not the greatest match. I mean, This is I'm going to be like this whole time. Sorry. It was okay. I mean, I sadly enough, the Roddy Mack guy was actually pretty good. You know, he wasn't terrible. He had a nice little like spine buster and everything. The Dudleys were the Dudleys. I'm not knocking them. That's what they do. Um, I don't know. I mean, it was wrestling. It wasn't awful. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't terrible. It was competent, but just not a fan.
Yeah, I think the best definition for this match would be a TV match.
Yep.
Where it fits in on your weekly television, but has no place being on a pay-per-view.
No.
Fun fact, I'll tell you who Rodney Mack is. Do you know who Rodney Mack is married to?
No. Hold on. I thought he was when I first saw him, I was like, is this the guy that was with primetime players? I was like, nah, that's not him. Like I thought maybe that was him, but it's not. No, I have no idea. So let me know.
I'll give you a couple hints, and you at home can play too. Two-time WWE Women's Champion.
Wow.
You want another hint?
No, just go and give it to me. We've wasted too much time on Rodney Mack. No disrespect to Mr. Mack.
He's also a one-time NWA World Women's Champion. It's Jazz.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why he's probably on the show. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this match is your standard tag match. The heels doing heelish things to go over in the end. Really just a super average match.
Yeah.
I've got it at 1.5 stars out of 5. Nothing special. Very forgettable opener.
Yep.
On to round 1 of the Redneck Triathlon. How about this? Do you want to do these? We're going to get to them as we go throughout the card. This first round is a burping contest.
So
this was awful.
so the Redneck Triathlon popped me. You know what I mean? Like that actually popped me pretty good. And after that, I was intrigued, and then just complete trash. This is complete trash.
Yeah. So the Redneck Triathlon is a series of events between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Eric Bischoff. So round 1 sees the burping contest where they were pre-recorded, mistimed.
All that time in production too.
Yeah. Austin wins the first round. So he's up 1-0. I mean, okay. This is the one I want to get to. This is a singles match to obtain the managerial services of Stacy Keibler. It is your favorite mid-carder test versus your shouldn't have ever been a world champion Scott Steiner.
Oh, the big bad booty daddy.
Listen, there was a time when Scott Steiner was probably one of the hottest commodities in all of American professional wrestling. You know.
Yeah.
Good old roids got to him.
And rightfully so, though. To be honest with you, before everything else takes place, but rightfully so.
Yeah. This was another just. I get it because we have somebody's job on the line, I guess, or limbo. Why it's on pay-per-view, but this shouldn't be on television. This should be on pay-per-view. It should be on television.
This whole pay-per-view was like a jazzed up Raw, like some type of edition. Like this, it's Raw, but it's like if you'd have put Legends Night, like minus the Legends and put Legends Night or something, or some weird, this is the, 1000th episode of Raw. That's what it felt like compared to an actual pay-per-view.
But yeah, this, so let me ask you a question, because this is the best question of all. Who's the face here?
I mean, yeah, it ended up being Scott Steiner.
Listen, and that is the one thing where WWE tremendously missed the ball on. They missed the mark on this. Scott Steiner's not a face.
No, he's not at all.
What on God's green earth would you look at Scott Steiner doing? Let's even take the last few years of WCW. What in that time frame made you think we're going to sign him? We're going to make him a face.
And also just on the way people look, like, yeah, Hogan, the different era. Hogan was the biggest babyface ever, and he was huge. But you got a guy like Scott Steiner. Cage is kind of the same way. You know what I mean? Like, you look at those guys, and it's like their faces. Like, so, so they're going to look like that and work like Ricky Morton-esque a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't work.
It works very rarely if it does.
Yeah, it can, but those are the guys that are special, and Scott Steiner, I mean, it's not his fault. Like, he didn't do a bad job. He's just not a face, like, just not what he does. So he's coming out here cutting babyface promos. I don't think so.
Yeah. So Test has been a little bit abusive towards Stacy Keibler as of late, with her being his manager / love interest.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. But this is probably my least favorite match on the card, because at least in every other match there's something to take away. This game means nothing.
And Keibler and Stacy took a bump.
Yeah.
It won't look. I'm not saying it was huge, but it won't little either.
Yeah, exactly. So Tess tries to hit Scott Steiner with a chair. Doesn't work. Steiner hits a Steiner flatliner, which was excellent. Wins the match. Give it the same grade as the last match. It's 1.5 out of 5. It's fine.
Yeah, I won 1 for the last match, 1 for this one.
Yikes. I also don't get the point of this match either, because where we would go next, they would be a tag team, and they would both abuse her.
Typical WWE. Who comes to save the day after that? Do we know, or like who comes? Who are the knights in shining armors?
Nobody.
Okay. Well,
I mean, if that I know that's not the answer you wanted, but that's the answer that was there.
I mean, I just assume that they'll put them together to be 2 big bads to go against. Guess not.
Yeah, I don't think anybody. I think this storyline just fizzled out.
Good. Don't waste any more talent in this vortex.
So we get a segment in between this match and the next. Eric Bischoff is introducing Stone Cold to the plethora of women for the pie eating contest. Did not know it was going to be that. Oh, but it's going to be funny here in a little bit. Don't you worry.
Oh, geez, it is funny.
So next match, we have the Intercontinental Championship match as Christian defends against Booker T. This is before Booker would get buried by the almighty Pedigree, I believe.
Yeah. You know what guys like you do, book. You sing and you dance, book. Like, no one ever wants to say anything about that, but go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine. So actually, he actually got his title shot, and because it was at WrestleMania night 19. That was when he got to be. So this was So this was the downturn of Booker T because he had recently come out of his feud with Triple H, which they egregiously don't even talk about in the A&E biography that had Booker T in it. They glance over all of the racial overtones that was in this feud. They just, this was a match. Next.
Yep.
And that's me taking a shot at A&E biography. You missed a big opportunity there to be like, yeah, this wasn't the best angle, or this really wasn't the best promos, but looking back at it, would we have done it? No.
Well, and they're supposed to be what's the word I'm looking? If you're in the vein of like journalism / reporting, you're supposed to call it like you see it. And I obviously I know that that's not always how in media and everything else can spin things, or they want to spin it. But I mean, like you said, they miss an opportunity to say, hey, this happened, this went on, so on and so forth, which I would have been all about. Again, if Book wins, then it's a great story. You know what I mean? He doesn't, and it's like, ooh, okay.
Again, another match, and I know this sounds like a broken record, but these two are more than capable than what they're being booked at for this.
Yeah.
Obviously Booker T gets the hero's pop because he's from Houston. But just walking you through the last part of this match, we get the Harlem sidekick, knocks Christian out. We get a spin-a-rooney. He's going to set up the axe kick. Christian just gets out of the ring and leaves. That's it.
And I thought going into this, looking at the card, I was like, okay, well, this is probably going to be your meat and potatoes here. It wasn't. It wasn't literally. I mean, with Booker and Christian, you thought, like I said, you look and you thought like, oh, okay, well, these guys are at least going to have a good wrestling match. And not that it was bad, but it wasn't anything special.
Just out of curiosity, do you remember? There has never been a time where Booker T has won in Houston clean, and I actually did the research on this one. Like, I think in maybe some indie shows between promotions, maybe.
Well, I mean, house shows, indie shows, one thing, but even house shows, you can win as much as you want, but if it ain't on TV, it don't matter.
There you go. He's never won in Houston on TV or on pay-per-view.
Well, Booker's always, again, I don't know if it's a racial thing. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I do think it was a WCW thing because he was kind of WCW's, shiny rose growing out of cow manure or something, like, you know what I mean? And then he goes to WWE and they're like, oh, this is your guy? Oh, we're not going to. Actually, he's not. He's just a guy, yeah. which he isn't. But I think Booker's great. So I don't know. I think just a little bit of that still kind of.
Yeah, and I think that's what the WrestleMania match with Triple H was as well. And a lot of that buildup was, hey, and like I said earlier, there were a lot of racial undertones in all of those promos and vignettes leading up to that WrestleMania match. But the big thing was, I'm better than you, and you shouldn't be able to hold a title.
Yeah.
And I agree. It's because of the WCW stuff, and Booker's an easy fall guy. He is a guy that's over with the fans. That even if he loses, it's not going to hurt his stock. It's not going to hurt. If you put him in a world title match next week, the crowd's going to be hot for it, and this isn't going to.
They're going to cheer him. Yep. He can lose a million times, and that's what they did. It's just like when they had their ruthless aggression, like documenting how they just completely rewrote history. Well, these WCW guys couldn't cut it. Yeah, Booker T, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, all Dean Malenko. These guys, they couldn't cut it. Okay.
But I've got this at 2 stars out of 5. There was a nice little stretch in the middle with some back and forth, but God, Booker deserves a lot more. Obviously, it wouldn't matter in the long run because he'd be a Hall of Famer. But what did you have this one at?
2 sounds good to me. Yeah, that's about because I gave the other one a 1. It's about a 2.
Well, I'm glad you said that because we are now on to the second round of the Redneck Triathlon. And this is the pie eating contest. So when you go to like a county fair or like a Renaissance fair, they have these pie eating contests. You can't use your hands; you just throw your face in the pie. This is WWE, and The Rock has since coined a phrase of, and you'll have to excuse me here, but poontang pie. And I'm going to be about as clean with this as possible. They're talking about the female anatomy below the waist. That's about as clean as I can get it. If you don't get it, I'm sorry. But this is essentially that. It is a bait and switch. You know, I don't even know what to say about this.
Well, it's trash. It's the time period. It's just trash. I mean, that's the only way I can explain it. This whole show is trash. I don't know. Go ahead, God.
Would you be surprised if I told you who the producer of all 3 of these segments was?
It's 2 people. It's either Vince Russo or it's what's his face that I can't stand? Vince McMahon's other lackey. What's his name?
Yeah.
Think
about Buck Teeth.
Yeah, it's Brother Love. I can't remember his.
No,
Pritchard. Is it Pritchard?
No, it is Kevin Dunn.
Oh,
Kevin Dunn wrote and produced all 3 of these.
KD. We're not talking about Kevin Durant.
Golly. Imagine, because we mentioned Jazz earlier, okay, because she's now Rodney Mac's spouse. But don't forget who else was a female performer during this time. You had Ivory, you had Molly Holly, even Trish and Lita. Imagine being told, because there's not a women's match on this card. Oh, sorry. It was on the pre-show. It was on Sunday Night Heat, and it was Ivory going over Molly Holly in 3 minutes and 18 seconds.
Ugh,
so imagine
Sunday Night Heat.
Not only, oh God, I love me some Sunday Night Heat. So just imagine, not only if you're them getting pushed to Heat to have your match, but if you're not on the card and you're female, and then this happens, like it's super degrading. It's super disrespectful.
It is.
Like you said, it's a sign of the times, though.
Oh yeah. And it's actually mild compared to some of the other stuff that they've done. Unfortunately.
Yeah. So I'll save you the long and short of this. Stone Cold brings out Mae Young for Eric Bischoff's turn. Stone Cold stuns Mae Young to get himself disqualified from this round. So it's tied at 1 going into round 3.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, because it's not WWE unless you have a 2 out of 3 falls, and you can't just have it be 2-0. You got to get to that 3rd fall.
Yeah, absolutely.
God bless. Raw Tag Team title match. This is worse than I remembered. Golly. It's Kane and Rob Van Dam defending against La Resistance, which would be Rene Dupree and Sylvain Grenier. Pass to you, because I can't right now.
So we have a couple rules on this show, and I think the Goldberg and the Lex Luger rules are fine, and I hate to be this way, but I'm starting to reach towards La Resistance is about to go on this, and it's not that they're bad because like I mean they're La Resistance are way better workers than Lex Luger and Goldberg, and Twice on Sunday and by a country mile. But I just couldn't care less about La Resistance. Like, I just they don't do anything for me. They look good, so I'll give them that. I mean, I'm not knocking them on that, but just less La Resistance, please, and thank you.
I'll have to remember that moving forward when we pick these shows.
Because this is like the third time, Codd, that we've watched a La Resistance match, and I'm over it.
I know they're really.
I know it's not on purpose, but
yeah, they're getting in the Lex Luger category real quick. And you know what? But between the two, I'd rather see Rene Dupree because
yeah,
he's obviously the better worker of the two.
yeah. And again, it's not work. They can work, but it's just I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. This is again just a bad match. I don't get this. Kane, a credible worker. Rob Van Dam, a super credible worker. Like both guys are world champion materials here in 2003.
Yeah.
And
especially RVD. I mean, especially RVD.
He hasn't run into the law yet. We haven't hit one night stand where he wins the title and then like the next week he's like pulled over for drugs.
Yep. That sucked. I forgot about that. Man, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was bad.
They were actually gonna give it to, I mean, he was gonna go too. Yeah, he was gonna go. Yep.
To the moon.
Yep.
So we'll just cut to the finish here. So you get RVD falling victim to the finishing move, and I will remember this till the end of time because they said it on commentary. Le Crepe. Because they're French.
Yeah, why not?
And somehow that destroys RVD's central nervous system long enough for La Resistance to be your new tag team champions.
Yep.
I give it a half a star because I feel bad.
Yeah. I'll give it I mean, I usually don't like half stars. I'll give it a star just because RVD is that good. And I mean, he's in the match and he did everything he needed to do. But so RVD gets a star.
Yeah, I give credit for Rob Van Dam and Kane just being
Kane as well, yes.
But the rest of this, I'm with you. This is just again a television match.
Yeah, no more Le Crepes, please.
No more Le Crepes, please.
No, you can have them. Just we need a better name than that.
All right. I'll let you go first on this one. It is Chris Jericho versus the man they call Goldberg.
Okay, so I can't stand Goldberg, and this is a typical Goldberg match where Chris Jericho is trying to carry all this weight on his shoulders because Goldberg can't work like at all. You got botched stuff on Goldberg. He's supposed to catch Chris Jericho in spots like on a Death Valley driver, and then he messes up and then kind of just like tosses him. Like it's just bad. It's just absolutely bad. And Goldberg's working like his arm's messed up, because Jericho's working the arm, but it looks terrible because Goldberg has no idea what selling is. It's just bad. This match is bad. And it's not because of Chris Jericho. It's 100% because of Bill Goldberg. And then you got JR on commentary putting him over. Like, I've never seen him tap out ever. Like, oh, geez. Which I get. That's what they're supposed to do. But, God, just absolutely awful.
So this reminded me a lot of Goldberg versus Diamond Dallas Page.
Yeah.
A lot with
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, with a lot of the ins and outs of how this match was built and booked. It also this makes Chris Jericho look like an idiot.
Yes.
Because why work over the arm for the entire match and then not continue to do that? But I think that's the spot that you were talking about where he goes for a lion salt and Goldberg is supposed to catch him.
And he's way off. He's not even close.
Yeah.
Which all Chris Jericho can do is hit his spot. Like once he jumps to the rope and does a lion salt, well, I mean, he can't catch himself. You know, like he was in the right spot at the right time. Guess who wasn't? God. William Goldberg.
Yeah. Credit to Chris Jericho. Counters the jackhammer, which I don't think in Goldberg's WWE run here to this point anybody's done. But I enjoyed it. Gets him in the walls. Goldberg obviously powers out. Spear, jackhammer. What did you give this match, Jeffrey?
Again, I'm not a plus or minus. I'm not a half star. 0.
Wow. Okay.
And it's I know I contradict because I just gave RVD 1, but man, Goldberg just grinds my gears so much that no disrespect to Chris Jericho, but it's just I can't give. I'm not giving anything with Goldberg on it any leeway.
I'll give it a 1.5 stars out of 5. I'm a little bit more lenient as to Chris Jericho doing most of the carrying in this match. Goldberg is an absolute just botch machine. But again,
even in his prime.
Yeah. I enjoyed the ring psychology of Jericho until he decided to stop working on the arm. Also, I enjoyed that Walls of Jericho from the jackhammer spot. I really enjoyed that. Wrong Man won, obviously. But
yeah.
Oh, and he's on the promotional poster for this card too.
Yep.
And look at that. Not even in the main event.
Goldberg.
On to my favorite match of the night. It's Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair. Yeah. This is what you wanted it to be.
Yep.
Up until a point.
Well, go ahead. You go first. Go ahead.
I really enjoyed this match. For about the first 10 minutes or so. So then we get Randy Orton run in. There was a table spot. I was not happy at the end of this match.
No, it was just like kind of the other matches. Well, it was the one knight in shining armor on the show, and then they tried to bamboozle it like right at the finish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, oh, here we go again. Again, good match. Like the best match on the card, which I guess ain't saying too much on this card, but you know, it was really good. Like you said, to a point.
So, this is coming from both men, and I pulled this up from an interview they both have done. This match got cut in half.
Oh, I guess to give more time to Trips and
it was never really specified by either man. But they were built in 30 minutes, and then the Randy Orton run in was to cut the match.
Wow. And I assume they didn't know it, or
they did not.
Wow. WWE doing doing 2018, 19, 20, 21 WE things back in the day.
I'm still all right. So sorry. The finish, chair shot. Flair gets the pin. So Ric Flair goes over Shawn Michaels. Don't worry, he would get that win back at WrestleMania 24. I wanted to take that into consideration, but just watching the match on its own, I gave it 3.5 stars out of 5. I had it a 4-star match out of 5 up until all the shenanigans. And then that happened. And then now with the information that they both provided, I'm bumping it back up to 4 stars out of 5. I really enjoyed this match. They shouldn't be penalized for stupid booking decision that was out of their control.
Yeah, I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was a good match. Again, I'm not a Shawn Michaels is Shawn Michaels, and you guys know how I feel about him, but he is one of the best workers in ring performers of all time. His the promo and the package leading up to this was so hokey, phony. He reminded me of a young buck, a little bit like like just. I don't know. And maybe he was doing that on purpose because Shawn Michaels when he's doing something he doesn't want to do or he's not into, he tends to get corny and hokey kind of. Mm-hmm. But the match is really, really good. And like you said, if it was cut in half, then I mean, that's you got to roll with it. You got what you got.
Yep. You ready for round 3?
Sure.
Ding ding. This is the singing contest. So Stone Cold lets Eric Bischoff go first. He comes out. He's singing his theme song. Stone Cold comes up and says, "You're lip syncing," and so then Eric Bischoff tries to sing on his own. It's awful. So they both agree. Stone Cold kind of rigged the wheel. I skipped over it because I don't care, and you should.
Yeah. Nope.
But Stone Cold rigged the wheel. He stopped it on the singing contest. So they both agree that the third one will be Pigpen Fun. Ooh-wee. So the objective is to throw your opponent into the pig pen, and there's a big thing of mud up by the entranceway. Obviously, Stone Cold throws Eric Bischoff in there. They've dedicated over 30 minutes to all 3 rounds of this. How about let's not do it? Yeah. Hey, how about let's give Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels back to 15 minutes they lost? And I'd be fine with that. Make this 15 minutes, like 5 minutes a segment, whatever. WWE gonna WWE.
Yeah.
This is a tremendous waste of time that went nowhere.
You could have had another match on the card for all of that.
Mm-hmm.
15 minutes match. You could have had 2. You could have had 2 15-minute matches. But yeah, I'm with you. So, or if you're not going to do that, like you said, if you have to do this, it just doesn't have to be so long. Get everything done within 5, 10, 15. 3 5-minute segments.
Oh,
terrible! It was awful.
I'm right there where you are. I'm tired as well. So let's get to the main event here. It is for the World Heavyweight Championship. Triple H defending against, oh boy, it's the Click, baby! Kevin Nash. This is a Hell in a Cell match with Mick Foley as the special guest referee. Why do we need a special guest referee? In my opinion, because this feud is already on like its 3rd match, and it's boring and nobody cares. But the storyline that they're writing into this is anytime Triple H is in a Hell in a Cell match or in a world title match, he's assaulting officials, no referee wants to get into Hell in a Cell with him because they value their life. That quote came from Earl Hebner. He values his life, so he's not getting in Hell in a Cell with him. So decision was made to bring Mick Foley in as a special guest referee.
Just another layer of nepotism. So you got Triple H in the main event, wrestling Kevin Nash, and then Shawn Michaels on the card, the match before. Shocker. Imagine that.
I'll pass it to you first. What you think?
I mean, this is your typical Triple H match. I mean, the showmanship of him and his wrestling work is good. And a lot of people think I don't like Triple H. No, I like Triple H's in-ring stuff because it's more old school, actually wrestling oriented. Trips is, and I enjoy it. And I know a lot of people don't. But with that being said, like you said, if there's not a lot of pageantry and a Hell in a Cell and some type of stipulation, then he tends to suffer a little bit at times with his wrestling ability. And like I've been saying this for a while, and everybody tells me I'm crazy. But again, I guess who reminds me of him? Jay White reminds me of Triple H a lot. And not so much his wrestling acumen, but the way he works, the way he is cerebral, kind of his heel work. I think everything works. And again, like as much as I get on Triple H and his reign of terror, it worked to some extent. I mean, should he have gone over all those people? No, not at all. But, so to me, again, I'm sorry, this is a typical Triple H match. And Kevin Nash Diesel can't work. He's terrible. He always has and always will be. But again, nothing special. But I mean, now when you think Hell of a Cell, you think of what? Mick Foley, Undertaker, and then who? Triple H.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting much out of this because I've said it before on here. There's Kevin Nash's playbook to getting in, getting out, getting paid.
Yep.
And it's the same song and dance. He did it in WCW, did it here, did it in TNA for years.
Tried to do it with Punk, remember, but failed the physical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So typical Triple H Hell in a Cell match. Triple H does it a pedigree after the sledgehammer shot. He's on top. He's going for a pin, and then we get the typical Triple H's opponent is down forever, and the referee's going to crawl over and make the slowest count imaginable so that when he counts 3, you sit here and you're like, he was out for like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
Why? Why? I don't understand this. You just did it to Booker T. This is June, or this is May or June. So literally 2 to 3 months ago, you just did this to Booker T. You hit a pedigree on him in the middle of the ring. You took 30 seconds to crawl over and pin, and then the additional 3 seconds to make the pin. And then now we're doing it here again. The pedigree is not a destructive move. I'm sorry.
No, they're trying to build in that, like you said, like dominant, this, when I hit this, like it's not the DDT. You remember back in the day, the DDT for a long time when it was first created by Jake the Snake, when he hit it, you were done. That was it. And the pedigree is not that way. But they're trying to put it over and make it look like it's, look at Triple H. He's so dominant. And that's why he's a champ. And that's why I guess, I don't know.
Yeah. But 1, 2, 3, Triple H retains. Kevin Nash is still laying there. Triple H still lays on Triple H. They cuddle for a minute. Evolution comes in, beats down Foley.
poor Mick Foley too, who's just always getting buried by Triple H. Like every turn, like you can't tell me, Codd, that Triple H doesn't like in real life. Like he can say he doesn't mind him. No, he doesn't like Mick Foley. He doesn't. There's no way, because he didn't like Punk because Punk was not in shape, and he died. So there's no way he likes Mick Foley. It's just look at the whole track record, and even remember like later, like remember when they came back and he was like, "You don't have it, Mick." Remember when he was getting into it with Stephanie and all that, like I don't know, 16, 17.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't like Mick Foley either.
I gave it 2 stars out of 5. Again, nothing special. Triple H.
That's about right. That's about right. Yeah, another run of the mill, Triple H performance.
Listen, we've watched a lot. Okay. Is this the worst show we've watched together?
Yeah. To me, it is. Yeah. And we've had some WCW stinkers, but at least the wrestling is good. You know what I mean? To some extent. This was just this was one big Raw. This was a Raw or a house show or a spot show for the old schools. Yeah.
Yeah, this was, other than Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels, this card was awful. There was nothing redeeming, nothing to remember.
Oh.
I mean, I remember the cage match because it had Kevin Nash in it. That's it. That's it. Other than that, this was awful.
I said that at the top of the show. It absolutely was.
I'm glad we're done with this. I really am. It makes me depressed. But guys, that's it for another episode of the Ref Bump. So glad to be done. Time for the plug. Go to Facebook. You're watching this on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Check us out on there. Like, share, and subscribe. If you like what you're seeing, Ko-fi.com/PWO123. That link is in the description below if you'd like to support. We're going to Next Gen Wrestling in 2 weeks. Guys, 2 weeks. Cannot wait. Their show is June 27th. Tickets are still available, not a few left. So nextgentn.net. Go to tickets. Adults 18, kids $15. So that's going to be exciting. But we have a pit stop to make before that. This is a show that months ago Jeff Hall requested.
I'm drawing a blank here.
Oh, it's this is one where the main event is what he says is just not respected enough, needs more attention. I'm talking the show that has Jay Lethal versus Jay Briscoe. We're taking a look at Ring of Honor Best in the World 2015.
Yeah.
Spoiler, I'm going to give you some of the names that are on this card. Okay. The main event is Jay Lethal versus Jay Briscoe. Winner take all. World title and television title.
The two, I'm sorry, I just got goosebumps. Sorry, I mean to step in here. The two Mr. Ring of Honors. Now, there's more Mr. Ring of Honors, there is, but this was kind of the transition to the newer age, Mr. Ring of Honors. But continue, God.
I just want to make a quick note at how just elated Jeff came after talking about Bad Blood 2003 for the time we've been on the show today. And immediately Jay Lethal versus Jay Briscoe. Just immediate, just happiness.
I'm hawking up, brother. You're
gonna get Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, AJ Styles, the Young Bucks, Adam Cole, Mike Bennett, Matt Taven, Roderick Strong, Michael Elgin, Moose. You're going to get War Machine.
And then we have people, I'm sorry to cut you off. We have people walking this earth who tell me that, like, oh man, AEW is the best thing ever. Yeah, but you guys don't know that all of these guys are Ring of Honor guys. Most of them. Like Ring of Honor, I understand people don't understand Ring of Honor, and it was niche back in the day at least. But just, you know, one group, one company with everybody in the world in it, and nobody cares.
Yeah. You're going to see War Machine. You're going to see Cedric Alexander and Caprice Coleman. Their team is the CNC Wrestle Factory. You're going to see Dalton Castle, Silas Young, Matt Sydal, ACH, Adam Page, Colby Carino, BJ Whitmer. Hold on. Mark Briscoe and Donovan Dijak.
Yes. This is all what this is all one card, everybody. And if you went to the show, you were going to pay at least $20 or $50. Let that blow your mind.
Yeah. Guys, if you're not a member of the Ring of Honor Club, guys, get on it. It is $9.99 a month. You get all of the Ring of Honor shows, past, present. If you just want to watch this show, you can go to Fight TV. Search Best in the World 2015. I think it's probably $20, but it's cheaper to just do the month. That, and we pre-ordered our tickets to go to Best in the World 2021 coming in a few weeks. All right, we'll be traveling to Baltimore for that. So, guys, on this immaculate high that we're on, all right, sending you out on a high note after the trash we talked about today. All right, it's Jeff Hall. My name is Codd Sinclair, and we will see you next time.